Let me talk to you guys about asking for what you want and saying no to what you don't want. And it's important because I realize that a lot of the time, you guys, people in general, will both neither ask for what you want, or if there's something you don't want to tolerate, not saying no to it, and with other people, but also in your own life. So when you allow it with other people, you allow it in your own life. Welcome in, fam. Much love. Trav here. Going on some errands. Adding another seatbelt back here. Kind of jury rigging it, but we'll make it work. We're gonna get to why I'm doing that in a minute, actually. Yeah. So, two quick stories for you. The first one, both in the last 24 hours, and this is what inspired me to make this video. And also we're going to tie it back to dating as a man, being a nice guy. So I had my friend Charlene over for dinner last night, and she's been on a couple of dates recently, and neither of them has gone very well, and she's complaining to me last night, like, man, she's saying it was going so good, and then this guy was laying on the beach face down, and this guy like climbed up on top of me. He did this 3 times, and he was trying to kiss me, and, you know, I'm trying to not give off hookup vibes, and I'm like, and she's like, 3 times he did it. So I'm like, so did you tell him no the first time? She's like, no. Did you communicate in any direct way that this is not what you wanted? She's like, no. I'm like, so what the fuck? I mean, this guy obviously read you wrong, but he cannot read your mind. Forget him. Focus on you. Why don't you say, I don't want that. Stop. And you would get what you wanted instead of complaining about it later like you're powerless and out of control. I told her this. Now today I woke up, I went on, and I got a new review on my hiking tours. And this is my first review that wasn't 5 stars. All my reviews have been 5 stars. This one was 3 of 5 stars. And the woman, Rebecca, she said the seatbelt didn't work in the back and it felt dangerous. She also said the car's kind of dirty and couldn't really, the window was dirty, it was maybe dangerous. She said she liked the tour and I was a tour guide, but the seatbelt didn't work. Why didn't you tell me the seatbelt didn't work, right? I've done a dozen tours here, everybody's sat back there. I don't know what's going on in the back right seat, I never sit back there. Nobody ever said, yo, the seatbelt doesn't work. Everybody's just sitting there afraid. I'm glad somebody finally said something. When was somebody going to say something, right? I do think a friend at one point last year said, hey, the seatbelt's not working, and it tucked away in the back of my memory. But since I've started doing tours the past couple months, done a dozen plus tours, nobody said nothing. She said nothing. She came to leave a review after. Here's the thing. One, I'm glad she did that, because I'm doing a group with kids, and I got to make sure the seatbelts work. So I'm happy to hear it that way. However, if she's scared for herself, that back seatbelt, all we had to do to make it work was it was clogged. So I just took a knife and I jiggled at it and got the dirt out, and it works. So she's sitting back there afraid for her life, I guess, saying nothing. And all she has to say is, hey, the seatbelt doesn't work. And it'd be like, yo, let me fix that for you. One more story before we start to tie it together and tie it back to you. Another friend. There's a better room in the house, and someone else got to move into that room, and she was mad about it. And I'm like, did you ask for that room from the people who are in charge? And she's like, no. So I'm like, well, then why would you ever get it? You got to ask for what you want. So, I mean, in all these cases, you got to ask for what you want, and say no to what you don't want. There's no reason to tolerate things you don't want. Nobody's gonna get too mad. And if they do, who cares? Say no. I don't want that. Same time, ask for what you want, right? Now, it's good when you don't want anything from women, so you don't ask. Why? Because you're self-satisfied. But if you want something in general, nobody reads your mind. And in life, like, be honest. I want this much money. I want this outcome. I want this result. Whatever it is. Could be the most shallow thing. Who cares? No shame. What is it? Same thing with don't want. That's how I quit smoking and drinking and eating junk food. I said no. I don't tell people this. A lot of the reason that I quit all these things was so I could learn how to say no. And I had to learn how to say no to myself before I could learn how to say no to other people. So here's something deep. If you're not asking what you want from other people and you're not saying no to other people on things you don't want, you're probably not saying no to yourself, and you're probably not asking you for what you want. So you're probably a dopamine addicted rat. You're probably smoking, drinking, junk food. You're probably staying home on porn, wanking it, not going and making your life better, right? So you got to start with yourself, saying no to your childish impulses, and start saying, and also asking specifically for what you want. Now, to tie it back to dating, this is what the nice guy is and what women are repulsed by. And it's men who, it's one of the reasons, but it's men who, you can tell they want something, but they won't say it, right? So when they're kind of emasculated, like they act like they don't want anything, but they really do, right? Like they're doing sweet things, hoping for something in return, but they're not asking for anything, right? If a man gives you flowers too early, or if a man gives a woman flowers too early, it can be a big ick for her, because she's like, he wants something from me, but he didn't ask. So it's annoying, right? It's like, women don't like when they go into reciprocation debt, and also, again, it comes back to the mind reading. It's like, what does this guy want? So you can say what you want, you can ask for what you want, and the best thing to do is, if you hear no, is just accept it and move on and go another way and do something else. But yeah, I had to share this because it was kind of funny, all these little stories coming up at the same time. I can't believe a dozen people sat back here and nobody said the seatbelt didn't work. But someone left a review. Right. Why don't you say, yo, make your seat? People are just scared of confrontation, I guess. And they maybe have a reason to be, because a lot of people don't take feedback very well. I personally do, but yeah, that's one of the reasons as well. And related, it's so important to take feedback well, because if you don't take feedback well, people are going to stop giving you feedback. And when people stop giving you feedback, life gets hard, because it's hard to level up, right? If I never heard about the seatbelt thing, like, yeah, it could maybe lead to someone actually getting hurt if I'm in a car wreck or something like that. So, yeah, we're cruising, just driving around right now, talking to you guys. Now, yeah, another related thing is, like, I was playing, I play basketball, I try to win, and there's a guy who, this might go over your guys' heads, but if any of you play basketball, you'll understand. The way they play at the gym I play at in Hawaii, it's a high school 3-point line, and it's they play 1s and 2s instead of 2s and 3s. So a 3-pointer is worth 2. A 3-pointer is worth twice as much as a layup. At the same time, it's standard to play a zone defense, which is insane and stupid, because on a zone defense, everybody can stand in place, and you can just shift the defense by passing the ball around and get someone an open 3 very easily where they're just standing. Where if you play man-to-man versus a 1s and 2s, you have a much better chance of taking away open catch and shoot threes, or at least making it harder where they have to be in, defense has to be moving, or the offense has to be moving. So we lost. We got smacked. We lost the game. The other team was just passing the ball around and shooting open twos. And our team, we had a guy who was trying to dribble through the zone and shoot layups. And he scored 7 points, but we lost 17-11. And after the game, I'm like, yo, you missed me. I'm a great 3-point shooter. It's a high school line, but I probably average 40% in game. 1s and 2s. I'm like, I don't think I shot a 3 that game. You missed me open so many times. You gotta look to pass. We got smacked. And he got so mad about it. He was so butthurt about it. Caused so many problems from it. And I mean, ultimately, like, I don't know that I thought he could take feedback. I don't know if I'll give it again. He's like, you're a hater. I'm like, I'm not a hater. I wouldn't be saying anything if we won, but we got smacked. I just want to win. I don't care if I'm the one shooting, but if the guy in the other wing, if he's shooting also, I want our team to be shooting twos and getting open, just passing around. Like, look up when you're dribbling. It's like, you're a hater. I'm like, okay, well, can I give you feedback? And we lost badly, so yeah. But on the other side, I want to be the guy of like, yo, your seatbelt doesn't work. And also, I realized then that I'm missing the middle seatbelt, which is why I got a new seatbelt that I'm going to install. It's kind of jury rigged. Like, thank you, I appreciate that. Finally, someone said something, right? You know, tell me. I got feedback that I never do the deep outlet. Oops. I was trying to almost ram someone. I never do the deep outlet pass in basketball. So I started working on the base. It hurts my shoulder to throw that far. I started working on it. What else? I mean, what are other examples? If there's something in my teeth, I'd want somebody to tell me, right? Right. I mean, I want to know. I want to know, right? People don't give feedback because they're afraid. Right. You need to get over the fear of, oh, this person's going to be mad if I ask for what I want. You need to get over it and start asking for what you want, right? And if they're mad, then it sucks for them. It's their problem. Oh, let's get this way. Another story that relates to this. When I was like 22, 23, I was a basketball coach for a JV team, a middle school team. Nothing really, right? And my buddy, Nathan, was my assistant coach. And he was my assistant coach because he just didn't have availability. He couldn't be at every practice. Or he couldn't be at every practice, every game. So he's my assistant. Now, Nathan had been playing basketball longer than me. He had played AAU. I hadn't. In a lot of ways, he's better than me. Not every way. But he was more athletic, and certain things he was more skilled at. He was mostly better than me at that time. But he was my assistant. And he was kind of like getting mad about, it was hard for him to be second to me and let me run practice, because I would do things that didn't make sense to him. And he's like, I know more than you. And he's getting mad at me. So I went to my the guy who hired me on, Jordan Hecker, and I was assistant coach for the varsity, and I was head coach for the JV. And I'm like, to Jordan, I'm like, yo, Nathan has a problem, or he's mad. What do I do? It's stressing me out. And what Jordan said is basically, Yeah, you gotta see what's in front of me. Look at that. Look at where we are. My God. What Jordan said is, Nathan has a problem, you don't have a problem. Right? Just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing fine. Nathan has a problem, you don't have a problem. And that was really deep to me, because I was like, yeah, you know what? If other people have a problem with me, I don't have to have a problem with them, right? You're mad, I'm unbothered, right? So when I ask for what I want and I say no, other people will sometimes have a problem with that, but I don't care, right? You have to have that mentality of, right, you're mistreating me, you're abusing me, whatever it is, hey, that's not cool. No, I'm not okay with that. And they might say, if they get mad, their problem. You didn't do anything wrong. Same vibe. If you say, hey, can I want a better result, can we do this? Whatever it is. Feedback. And they get mad, their problem, not your problem. You don't have to be mad about it. So that's something deep. Last little bit of anecdotes here. Was this yesterday? Yeah, yesterday morning with my buddy Luke Matson. I was talking with him. Oh, let's get the camera back. We're on our way home. I'm just did some errands and wanted to drive around and talk to you guys, but also just cruising with the dog. She's torn her cruciate ligament. Supposedly it's a partial tear, and she's supposed to be able to maybe recover without surgery, or they don't recommend surgery. She's not walking on it right now, though. She's getting around on 3 legs and pivoting on 4. So I'm just driving around, something for her to get her out of the house. Anyways, my buddy Luke, he's saying, yeah, his ex, he just broke up with his girlfriend, or they broke up. He did something and she became mad, and he was like, no, maybe I should have said something, done it a little differently, because she threw a fit. And I'm like, no, dude, if someone throws a fit, they're going to throw a fit. It's not your fault. Same thing, my buddy Phil, who's a coaching client. His mom works for him, and she has a temper. If he gives her feedback, like, hey, you're making an error in the way you're sorting the inventory, she flips out, and he's like, I made her mad, I should have said, no, dude, you didn't make her mad, she made herself mad. It's, in both cases, the person getting mad, the mom, she grew up in the Soviet Russia, and she had one toy. It's not your fault that she's has PTSD. There's nothing you can say to not make her freak out every once in a while. She's gonna freak out sometimes. It's not your shit, it's her shit. Same with Luke, where his ex, I guess she had some trauma, or I think her dad drank or something. I don't know what it was exactly, but she had a problem. And it's not his fault. It doesn't matter how he presented. She's gonna flip out, right? You come at me, or you come at someone who's measured, you could come at me and say things in the most uncouth way. I'm not gonna blow up on you. I'm not gonna freak out, right? So what I'm trying to say is you're also not in control of other people's reactions in any way. There's no nice way to give feedback. The people who can take the feedback are grateful for the feedback. The people who can't are going to freak out no matter how you present it. But you still have to ask for what you want. You still have to say no to what you don't want, or you're going to keep getting what you don't want. You're never going to get what you want. So yeah, I hope you find that useful, and a lot of little anecdotes in here. Let me know what you think in the comments, but yeah, go out in the world, start with yourself and say, I want this, I don't want this, I'm going to get this for myself, and I'm really not going to care what other people think about it. Care what I think about it. Because I'm not in control of other people. It feels good to get respect, but it's so ironic that one of the easiest ways to get respect is not caring what other people think. If you don't care what other people think highly of you. If you care a lot what other people think, people are more likely to think lowly of you. It's so funny how backwards that is. Right? It just shows a sense of being self-assured and confident in yourself. Yeah, appreciate y'all. Much love.